Dad, will you please explain legal and equitable title?
A title is the collective rights to the property. There are two kinds of collective rights to a title: legal estate and equitable estate. If you hold legal and equitable title to property, then you have total title, which, if it is real property, it is called LODL. Which means that under legal title, you get to control it, you get to make the rules for how it is used. Also, legal title gives you the capacity to go to banks or anyone that would loan money, and you can allow a lien to go down on the property as collateral for the borrowing of money on the property. Those are all things that the trustee has capacity to do. If you have equitable title, you get the right of use to the property, you get right of possession, and if the property is ever sold, you get the equitable units. The value of the property on the sale of the property comes to the equitable title holder.
When they say that possession is 9/10 of the law, is that the equitable title?
Yes, Courtney. That's correct.
Is that why the state is allowed to tell me to put a license plate on the car and make sure the lights and horn work?
Yes, Courtney. Precisely. The state is the trustee. They write the indentures to the trust.
But Dad, I have the certificate of title.
If you have the gift certificate, do you have the gift, or do you have the certificate?
So Dad, are you telling me that even though my car is paid off, the state still holds the legal title to the car?
Yes. They have legal title, also called the MSO, the manufacturer's statement of origin. So they can write the rules, also known as the indentures, for the car.
Are you telling me that if I had that other 10% of the title, the legal title, then I could write my own rules for the car?
Yes. You could travel down the road without paying any attention to any of the public statutes, as long as you are not crashing into anyone else or causing anyone a problem.
So, is that why you pay property taxes on our home? Because you only have the equitable title and the state has the legal title.
If I had both the legal estate and equitable estate to the title, I wouldn't pay property taxes. The payment of property taxes in the trustee fee, which goes to the state, because they have legal title to our property. They call it fee simple. Feudal. Before the gold was taken in 1933, if you had both legal title and equitable title in enough real gold coins, you could do what is called a buy, sell. Because you would be buying substance and selling substance, and you would get the allodial title. The gold coins were not evidence of a debt, like today's debt notes. There is an old adage: you get what you pay for. Today, you make an offer by offering an evidence of a debt for the property. So have you offered consideration to the property holder for the property? So was the state involved in the transaction between you and the property holder? So why does the state insert itself into your deal? It inserts itself for the simple reason of the presumption of law. If nobody can claim a title, who is going to assume to have the title as a last resort?
The government?
Yes, it cheats to the government, because nobody can prove that they offered anything of substance to acquire the legal title. So, since 1933, any property which is exchanged hands, real or personal, the presumption is that the ultimate legal title holder is the state, and all you are is an equitable title holder. You get to use it, you get to possess it, and you can pass it on for the presumed value in terms of other debt instruments. The state, through the laws of cheat, assume they have legal title, control over it, so they are going to make rules and regulations for your use and possession of the property. If you violate their rules and regulations, you are sanctioned and punished, also including forfeiture, for not obeying your master, the state. So when it comes to property, where there is a different holder of legal and equitable title, then we deem that the property is not held in one entity, we deem that the property is now held in trust. The trustee of the trust is the legal title holder, and the beneficiary of the trust is the equitable title holder.
Thanks, Dad. Now, how do I get the MS so I can have legal and equitable title?